It's the weekly show about Pro-AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hey everyone, this is Gary Kayye and
Steph Beckett. And this is rAVe TV.
Are you tired already, Steph? You can't be tired already. We haven't even got to the show yet.
No, what? That's crazy. This is rAVe TV, the Pro-AV industry's only live weekly TV show. Gary and I have been doing this for, I don't know, like, what is it, almost 3 years now?
I know. Isn't it
so
amazing?
yeah,
We've been doing a weekly TV show for almost 3 years, and we've been taking our show on the road. Infocom, we've been to DSE, we've been to LDI, we've been to Enterprise Connect, we've been to NAB, we've been to ISE, which by the way is next week. We are very excited about all that's happening in around that show. Of course, if you know our show, like we know we're going to have extra listeners today because this is our ISE countdown show. Yes. We come to you live every week on Wednesday at noon Eastern time, which gives us a chance for the European teams to watch us at 5 or 6 p.m. their time, and the Californians to make it into the office hopefully by 9 o'clock or so. And we come to you live on ravepubs.com, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter /X. We really, I'm actually proud to be with you, Steph, doing this every week. I love doing the show live.
Same. This has been a fun, not to sound like I'm on the Bachelor or anything, but this has been a fun journey. You know what I'm saying?
It does sound very Bachelor-esque.
I know they call it a journey, but anytime I say journey, I feel like I'm on the Bachelor. But this has been kind of a journey. We built this from like the ground up, like from literally nothing.
Yeah.
So it has been so fun to like grow this and really turn it into something great. So yeah, like Gary was saying, we're preparing for ISE this week. I think that's why I'm a little bit tired, but do not worry. I will be chipper next week on the Barcelona.
You're always chipper.
Yes, on the FIRA show floor. We're very excited. ISE is probably like my favorite trade show that I get to attend, not only because it is in Barcelona, Spain, but because there is just like the stuff that is there is just like endless. So I'm excited to like be on the show floor with you, Gary, and each like kind of have some time to bring up our favorite products that we've gotten to see. I'm excited. I'm going there with a list this year of just things that I like need to see. And I think that that's going to give me, because like sometimes you just go on the show floor and you're like, what do I even do? I am so overwhelmed. So I think I'm going in with a plan, with a list this year. And I think that's going to.
Well, I'm lucky that the team at rAVe puts together a plan for me to make sure I go certain places. And then I get an opportunity to walk the show floor and just sort of discover products, which is kind of fun to be able to just do. And I'm excited about that because I've heard some rumors about some products that people have told me about that I definitely want to see. So I definitely will sneak into those booths. And ISE is a great show, over 800 exhibitors. The keynote speaker, which Steph will be covering the keynote, is, of course, the director for Star Wars Episode 10, which is being in pre-production right now with Daisy Ridley. And that's the continuation of the Skywalker series. And of course, I'm excited about that because she's the director of Episode 10. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about all the new products that are going to be there. I'm very excited about HD-Base-T coming out with a new standard and some new stuff that they're going to show. I'm excited about all the AV over IP products we're going to see.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, there's just so much things to be excited. All the new display technology. We're going to see an enormous amount of LED stuff that is going to really have a big impact. There's a lot of development on video walls and digital signage and spectacular installs, and that are going to be sort of like become standardized stuff. Like used to be, you think of LED video walls as something that esoteric you'd see in a Las Vegas casino, or you'd see in a super high end application. Now we're seeing it everywhere. Are we not?
We are.
Yeah, that was me. That was our website popping up telling me that I'm talking live. That's wild. So that doesn't happen very often.
So
Threw me
yeah,
off a second.
and you can follow all of the coverage that Gary and I are putting together, everything that we are doing on our microsite, and that is ravepubs.com/ISE. That is going to have every single story that Gary and I publish. Of course, Gary is going to send out the daily riff every day with just a curated coverage of every single day of the show. I'm writing an article about every single day of the show called the Daily Raf. Get it, riff, Raf, because Gary and I together are a bunch of
I think
riff-raff.
only you and I get that joke, by the way.
Yeah.
I think literally we have to keep saying that over and over.
You have to keep saying it over and over until people are like, oh,
otherwise
like,
you're just not going to get it.
Because like once you get it, you get it. But yeah, does it not make a lot of sense one without the other? Like maybe not.
The Daily Riff is our daily newsletter that comes out.
Yeah.
The RAF is her daily impressions of the show. Like
exactly.
Okay.
So those are all going to be on our microsite. And of course, every single product video that we shoot is going to be on that microsite. I have been
we're hoping for go ahead. I'm sorry, Steph. Go ahead.
I was like, we've been very busy like putting together the process for all of the videos to make sure that they go up smoothly, quickly. And I'm really excited to see how that goes. We're hoping for over 1,500 videos this year. I'm going to hope for 2,000.
Ooh, that would be a big one. We've only hit 2,000 one time, and this is a smaller show than it's been in the past. We have hit 2,000 one other time. Yeah. But either way, there will not be a product on the show floor we will not shoot a video of. So this is an opportunity for you to see everything on the show floor without having to go to the show. But listen, we have a special guest with us today. Anne Ewald. I've never been able to pronounce her name properly. I'm going to get her on here to tell me what I'm doing wrong there. Ewald. And did I get it? Am I getting it? Yeah. Okay, let's bring it on. Anne. Let's ask it. And am I getting it right? Is it Ewald?
Yeah, it's Ewald. It's funny. Last night, somebody referred to me as Ewok, which I had not been referred to since middle school.
I'm okay with that. I got Star Wars all over my office. So listen, product manager, our product marketing manager at Chief, and we love Chief. Chief has been a brand that's been in the industry longer than me. It's a very old brand, it's been around a long time. And I was just talking about, and I was literally just talking about the impact of LED on our market. Tell us a little bit about what Chief is going to be showing at ISE 2024. And I can't imagine that LED is not a big part of it.
Oh, yeah, it's a huge part of it. We've got some really big stories that we're previewing. Some of the products won't be available until closer to InfoComm, but the ISE is like such a great opportunity to basically sneak peek what we've got in development. So with our tiled mounts, which are direct view LED mounts, we've got two big stories. We're going to be showcasing our off-the-wall solutions. So our engineers have figured out how to marry our fusion extrusions with our tiled direct view LED mounts. So now you can create video walls that are mobile on carts. What's going to be at the show is the tiled mounts on a fusion bolt down stand, curved walls, ceiling, basically everything and everywhere that fusion can go, now tiled can go too. So that's a major story for us. And then even the bigger story is we're launching our universal direct view LED mounts at the show as well. So as you know, with flat panels,
you're going to have a universal LED mount?
Yes.
Like with like 60 different manufacturers.
Yes.
I'm not even sure how that's possible. So I'd like to understand what you did there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, as you know, with flat panels, we have the Visa patterns, and in direct view LED, there really isn't any standardization happening. So again, our engineers, I think they're geniuses, have been working on this for a while, and we're finally ready to show it. It's going to be compatible with a majority of 27-inch LED displays off the shelf. Doesn't matter where you're getting them, who the manufacturer is. It will be compatible. And then we also have designed in future proofing, basically. So if the industry shifts or changes and that standard size, grows or shrinks, we're still going to be compatible with that, and we'll be able to get that to market really quickly.
That's impressive. That's really impressive. And what's interesting about that is that takes away a lot of the stress. If you're a salesperson selling an LED wall, I mean, first off, it's very complicated. Not very many manufacturers have sort of dumbed down that process of putting it together, right? We have some companies like, many of the bigger brands like Planar and LG and Samsung have put together all-in-one kind of options, but it's still kind of a wild west with regard to anything outside of those pre-configured options. And if what you're saying is that you've now made that simpler and less stressful in a way by saying, look, pick whatever LED you want. We have a universal mounting system. The alignment of that is critical, right? So that's pretty amazing that you're saying that you can use one mounting system and not have to worry about the alignment.
Yep. And we've also tried to streamline and standardize the installation process. So the hardware kits are going to be the same no matter what you're ordering. So you really just have to learn how to install it once, and then you can repeat it as much as you need. And, again, we've got that great adjustability. We've got access, all 3 accesses, XYZ access adjustment. So you can get it perfectly flat. You can do what we call outside the box design. So it doesn't have to be, a standard square or rectangle. You can do creative designs as well in the shapes of logos.
We're just showing a video of a bunch of different configurations that you're able to handle there. And we appreciate it. And I'm curious, maybe you're not allowed to say, but I'm really curious if you're willing to say, where are we with the evolution of everything to LED? Because you would be a good bellwether, because you'd be able to see the declining number of mounts being sold for projectors or even for LCD monitors. Has anyone compiled that? I mean, it's kind of hard to say. I will give you a defense on that, because it's kind of hard to say because the market has grown. So even the decline that we would have normally seen, we're still seeing increases in sales of LCDs and projectors. Even Epson said that this past year was their best year they've ever had selling projectors. So I think some of that gets skewed a little bit, but aren't we seeing great growth in LED either way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we just see the market continuing to grow and continuing to increase. And so, that's why we continue investing in our direct view LED mounts and trying to work towards universal compatibility, and just, again, sticking to our motto, which is installer inspired. So, we're always talking to installers, and we're always trying to figure out the best way to make a great experience for them.
Yeah, and by the way, y'all put together an ISE preview page, which you can actually go and see on their website. We'll drop a link. If you scan that QR code, you can actually see the link for that. But it's LagrandeAV.com/resources/blog/ISE-2024. But there it is right there on the screen. That tells you a little bit about what you're going to do and what you're going to show and what you can expect. And by the way, I'm a big C2G fan. I use a C2G right here at my desktop as a docking station. It allows me to have wireless all the time. And I have, I don't know if you can see, I have 2 different monitors connected and my laptop connected. And I got a brand new MacBook Pro the other day, and I took out my old one and put my new one in, and boom, it just worked. I didn't have to reconfigure anything. I didn't have to do anything. So thank you for that. That has not happened before with my old docking stations, not to mention any names. So C2G is another great brand. Vadia is another great brand of Legrand. Of course, Mid-Atlantic, Daylight, the oldest AV brand in existence is Daylight. I think they're 107 years old. Is that right, Anne?
Something like that? 1903, I think, or somewhere in there. It was founded.
A little older than that then. Yeah.
I didn't want to dog projection too much, because they are our sister brand and we love them. And I used to write copy for them. So
nice.
There you go. And then of course, Luxel finally coming over to the Pro AV side.
Yep.
Ooh.
Sorry.
It just keeps growing and growing. And I have to thank you for publishing the blog out to everyone, so I didn't have to remember the booth number for our Legrand. In fact, right before I went live, I was like, oh, what's the booth number?
Well, you're in Hall 3. So make sure you go to Hall 3. And the cool thing is you don't even need to know your booth number, because if you just look, you'll see that giant sign up there. But you're in N600. You want to write that down, Ann? N600, Hall 3 N600
right now.
So we want to make sure everyone goes by Legrand. I don't know why you wouldn't. Legrand is a glue company. They make a little bit of everything. We didn't even mention the home stuff that they've got, everything from power to drapes and lighting and everything else. So you should definitely check out Legrand AV and everything that they have. And of course, Anne, thank you very much for joining us on the LED side. I'm of course enamored with this technology and how fast it's growing, and to have a universal mounting system is just amazing. I'm shocked that you actually could do it. I didn't think it could actually be done. So I'm very excited about that. And I will definitely go by and take a look at it myself. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for the time. It's great.
Bye, Anne. Thank you.
Well, we have another guest today, but before we get to him, I want to talk about a story that was published that generated a little bit of controversy. I love this company, the Farm AV. I love the name, the Farm AV.
They're cool. They are like,
I love that name.
Think that is like,
that's a great name. That's a memorable name.
Amazing marketing. Like 10 out of 10 to that team.
So Farm AV.
Yeah.
By the way, Kelly Perkins, great job. The Farm AV got purchased by Midwich.
Right.
And they're basically pulling him into the Starin brand. It's the most confusing thing. Number one, don't get rid of the name the Farm AV. Number two, no one knows Starin. Everyone knows Midwich, and Midwich globally, and Midwich is not doing anything with the brand North America. This is your chance to take Midwich into North America. So congratulations to the guys from the Farm for being acquired by a great company, Midwich. But come on, let's get rid of the Starin brand. Let's go to the Midwich brand and make that a global brand. That's what I would do. That's what my article's about on the on the website.
Did this on LinkedIn yesterday. Was anyone disagreeing with you, or were most people like, yeah?
No, I mean, the biggest comment that came in was like, actually, we like the name The Farm. Why don't they all change to The Farm? Well, they're not going to do that. But Midwich is a giant brand in Europe. I mean, they're really well known in Europe and in a lot of Asia, and certainly in New Zealand and Australia. But in the United States, they bought Starin and they kept the Starin brand as a brand of Midwich. I think Starin's an okay name, but I think Midwich is a way better name. It sounds better. It sounds better to say. It's kind of a cool brand.
One of those things where I feel like marketing teams just never quite. I mean, I don't even know if it's the. I mean, I guess it is the marketing team.
I think it's protection. I think someone wants to keep the brand Starin. They're defensive about the brand Starin, and they're convincing someone at Midwich that they should keep the brand Starin. And they just should not. They should go to Midwich. But that's like, my opinion.
You need to think about.
I'm a branding guy, so I'm obsessed with this kind of stuff to make sure that people make the right move. But to have multiple names out there going simultaneously is very difficult to remember. So
and like confusing. You're like, who owns who? What it belongs to what?
Yep.
But I mean, like, this is something that our industry is actually not very good at in general. Like, I'm sorry to say.
Probably not.
Like, but
and before we bring Paul on, we should mention we are going to do rAVe TV Live. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. We're going to be doing rAVe TV Live on the show floor at ISE every single day. Day one, Steph's doing it by herself, I think. But what we call day zero. Day zero. Are we doing like a test by yourself? Or? Okay, yeah.
Yes,
and then
like
day
a day
one,
zero,
I'll be there.
Like a show floor walkthrough. Like show
give you behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most of that is honestly to test how our equipment works on the show floor. I'm not going to lie. But
listen, it's a convention center. We got to test to make sure it works. It's a lot of stress.
So might as well go live and like show everyone what's going on, like why not?
Yeah. Show them what it looks like on the show floor as they're packing up. But I know you got an interview to get to, so do your interview.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring on Paul Konikowski. He is the security engineer at Regional Finance, and he also writes a cybersecurity article for us monthly. Paul, how are you?
I'm doing well. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me okay.
Yes, you sound
solid.
You sound good. You sound good. So in this month's article you wrote for us, I had to laugh at your title. I was like, yeah, that was beautiful. But let's talk about 23andMe, because already, I just think it's funny that they had a security breach because people are already distrustful of 23andMe in general. The people who are like, what are they doing with my DNA? Like, where is this going? And then, of course, they had a security breach. So now, no one's probably going to trust them ever.
Right. You would think so. But what's funny is people have sort of short memories when it comes to security breaches. There's so many these days that a lot of people are like, well, my data's already out there. That's kind of what one of my brothers has said. He goes, does it matter? Isn't your password and your SSN already out there? Isn't someone already stole it? And I said, it can always get worse.
It can always get worse.
Things can always get much worse. So yeah, with 23andMe, what happened was someone was able to log in to a number of accounts simply by using old password and email combinations that they had gotten probably from a previous breach. And so, as there's a number of breaches out there, but for me, I'll choose myself as an example. I was at Georgia Tech when there was a breach and my information was leaked out there, and password and email combination. So they encourage you always to go change your password, and you got to go change your password everywhere. And unfortunately, people don't do it. They'll change it for the site when they're forced to, but they don't go change it everywhere else. And there's so many passwords that are reused between sites that it's not hard to do that.
Right. That's very true.
Yeah.
So what kind of information was leaked out there with this 23andMe breach?
Well, it was the way they got in, like I said, was using like old emails and passwords. So that was kind of already out.
Right.
So that came from another breach. But once they got in, anything you might have in a normal website profile, your address, your billing, as well as your SSN. And then in addition to that, because it's 23andMe, there's a lot of health information. So you may have a tendency towards a certain cancer in your family, or may have a lineage towards something else that you may not want someone else to really know about.
Mm-hmm.
And 23andMe also has an extra feature in it where it allowed you to kind of enter your family members, and it would help find family members and link them into this database because they have the same DNA. So someone getting into your profile, your account within 23andMe would have access to all of that as well. You're basically a family tree. So it made it kind of look a lot worse than it is. And 23andMe kind of said, well, we didn't actually do anything wrong because the passwords were stolen from another hack. And it's not our fault that, we didn't catch them being used. But so the pushback that they're getting now is, well, you should have had MFA, like as a responsible company holding on to this DNA information, you should have been protecting it a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
You need to lock, the medicine cabinet, as they say.
Right.
So, so a lot of people are now in suits against them. They're suing them, saying you weren't protecting our data from the first place. So you should have done a better job. And it was, so it's kind of an ugly one.
Blaming the users or customers is crazy.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you alienate your entire customer base and be like, well, this was on you guys because you guys should have changed your passwords more often, even though we didn't tell you to.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of human nature and a little bit of corporate nature. They try to play a little bit of damage control. People don't like to take the blame, especially when there's money involved. They really, this is the legal battle now. So they will always try to like, oh, it wasn't really our fault. It happens in AV too, right? We blame our users a lot. And well, I gave you this great touch panel. How come you can't figure it out? Well, Gary's gone on and on about, designing things towards the user or no touch panel at all. So, we can't do that. And if we're going to give someone the tools like 23andMe, we need to put safeguards in place.
Right. And the other kind of article that you wanted to bring up was that there was an instance of a list that had a ton of old credentials. They were distributed, but the passwords were old.
Right. And so what's happening now, there's another one that just got released today.
Oh, great.
Adding to it, but what's been happening is there's been large dumps of old password files or older files out there. So there's like a giant leak, but it's like, wait, that's 5 years ago. So some people might look at like, oh, that's old, stale. Those passwords must be changed by now, right? But the reality is a lot of people aren't. They're still using that same old password. So whose fault? How long can you, keep, reminding people to change their password. What they really need to do is force people to do it. And you've seen that, I'm sure, on your own websites. When you log in, if you haven't been in a while, they make you do a reset, or hey, we've had a breach, we need to reset. And now 23andMe is forcing that MFA, that multi-factor authentication from the get-go. So yeah, there was just another one I read about today in one of the feeds, and it, unfortunately, you got to read through that headline because it can be kind of, oh my God, 23andMe, massive breach. And it was really, not that many. It wasn't really that many records that were accessed. It was like 1% or something like that.
Okay.
The scary part of all the
Which,
families.
like, not ideal, but it could have been worse.
It could have been much, much worse. And sometimes the headlines make it sound a lot worse. So the one that came out today was, massive data dump of Dropbox, and all these files have been found on the internet, on the dark web. Look out, everyone has all the information in the world. It's like, okay, if it's that big, it's going to take some time for the malicious people to go through it, and figure out what's actually there and process it. But it's, that one, and Atlassian had a big, everyone's getting attacked. So it's, you have to kind of weed through that and find out what actually applies to you.
For sure. Media literacy, important. In general, just important.
Yeah.
Read through. All right. Well, Paul, thank you so much for hopping on today. I really appreciate, getting a little bit of time to talk with you. I'm excited to, you and I were talking about your next article. I'm super excited to read it. I think it's going to be really great. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you at InfoComm.
Likewise.
Yeah, great.
I hope to see you guys there.
By the way, Steph, you don't know that, you probably didn't know this till now, but I am a 23andMe user. Actually, my mother bought me a 23andMe kit before she passed, because I'm adopted. She was curious about, my origin. And because the last bit of information she had on it was when I was adopted. So I did have to go in last time I looked and change my password. It forced the change in the app. But yeah, so I can imagine some people, because interestingly enough, on 23andMe, I have had family members that are people related to me reach out to me, but I haven't responded to them because I'm just not interested. And that's what's unusual, is like a data breach like that would then out you to them potentially, because I have not responded to them. So, but in any case, Paul, that's an interesting topic. I enjoyed the article, and it was definitely personally applicable to me. I don't know if my data got out there, but I guess we'll find out if people start reaching out to me.
I guess we'll find out. If
we'll find out.
Your long lost brother, or people faking to be your long lost cousin, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll know that for sure because they're on 20. I mean, like, it tells me everybody on 23andMe.
Yeah.
But
if they've
that's
crazy.
In any case, we have in addition to Legrand, we have rAVe as a sponsor of rAVe TV, and rAVe is introducing a groundbreaking AmpliWave classroom audio solution. This is kind of cool because they've been, known as the camera company, and they're now getting into helping with wireless audio amplification in K through 12, which has been a problem because there's no simple way for teachers to amplify their, like me, I lose my voice all the time. To amplify their voice, it's typically called voice lift in a room like this. And they actually have a plug and play system now that's self-charging. It's user-friendly. It has wall-mounted speakers that are easy to put up. You don't have to integrate it into the ceiling or the wall or the walls themselves. Uses wireless microphones and gives teachers the ability to do amplification up to 50 feet, which is big enough for any kind of classroom you have in K through 12. We have a link if you scan that QR code for the product. It's called AmpliWave, AmpliWave, and it is from rAVe, the company that for the PTZ cameras and AI-based camera systems. We'll check that system out at ISE. That will be definitely popular in K through 12. There's not a lot of products that are aimed specifically at K through 12. Obviously, you have to be entry level, and you have to be really simple to use because teachers in K through 12 are way too busy to figure out how to use something. And if it's complicated, they're just not going to use it, which is why Smartboard's products became the most expensive whiteboard ever in a classroom in a lot of different cases where there wasn't enough training in some of the school districts. But this will not be that.
Like mine. Do you remember
big news yesterday?
Story?
Big news. Sorry. Go ahead, Steph.
No, you're good. The story that I told
big
you
news yesterday. I was surprised. Barco came out with a video bar product yesterday, and it's called the ClickShare bar. This surprised me, and the reason why it surprised me, and do I think it's a good move for Barco, for ClickShare, for the ClickShare team? Awesome. What surprised me? The reason why I'm surprised is Barco spent a lot of time, the last 3, 4, 5 years, building up this alliance program where they've partnered with all the microphone and companies out there and camera companies out there to make sure that there were compatibility with Barco's ClickShare conference. And now and I know that Barco doesn't look at it this way, but in a way they're competing with them with this product, because this is a product that has a camera built into it. It's got a microRAVe built into it, speakers built into it. And so the companies that are part of their alliance program, and I talked to one yesterday, I happened to be on the call with one yesterday when he found out about the product. He said, this is competitive to us and we're in their alliance program. So what will be interesting to see the effect that it has in an alliance program. But listen, nobody can deny that Barco isn't the leader in wireless sharing. So for them to take a wireless sharing box, their ClickShare conference, and put it inside of a video bar is genius. And it is a smart idea. And Barco will do well with this. It's just the alliance issue that they'll have to work out. And as long as they can keep that separate from the video bar people, they'll be fine. But you should at least know about it. I'm definitely going to go check that product out at ISE because I'm curious how it compares to all the other video bars out there. The one video bar that's differentiated themselves the most has been the one from Sennheiser, because that one has Dante built into it, network built into it, so it can be part of a larger system. The rest of the video bars, companies like Jabra, Logitech, and most of Bose, most of the others, they're standalone products. So they're like all-in-one systems, which is kind of what Barco's doing. They're going for this all-in-one, but also, by the way, we have wireless sharing built into it. So it's a neat, unique product, and I'll definitely go check it out at ISE and give you my opinion on it.
Yeah, I will too. I'll be interested to see how it works. So yeah, Snap One last week released Control4 Connect and Control4 Assist, which are important because this is kind of Snap One's first step into AV as a service for its partners and customers. I went to their kind of press meeting for this, and they were really adamant that this is something that integrators have been asking for. That integrators, they don't have time to constantly be going back to old installs and making sure everything is updated, everything is working. Because think about it, integrators are constantly focusing on the next project. So this is Snap One kind of taking it off of their plate while also giving integrators a cut of the money that they make off of that. So very interesting, and obviously an option for passive income for those integrators. So yeah, definitely go and read the full story about the difference between Connect and Assist. But yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot more manufacturers take a step into this AV as a service realm.
Yeah, and it's a smart move. You'll find out, Steph, on my crystal ball when it comes out, that I'm giving giant kudos to this company Xyte, XYTE.io, for their AV as a service platform and cloud management platform. I actually talked to Wirestorm this morning because of what they're introducing at ISE, and they're using the Xyte platform inside of their products, as is Avocor. I mean, there's companies that are already adopting the Xyte cloud management platform. If you're going to ISE, you should check them out. If not, you should check them out at XYTE.io. You'll see me talking more about them this year. So, hey, speaking of audio and speaking of connect classrooms and being able to hear people right, there's a new Microflex MXW Next 2 microphone system, which is going to officially debut at ISE. But here's a video that explains it even more from Shore.
The Microflex Wireless Next 2 is an all-in-one audio solution for meeting rooms, training rooms, and lecture halls. It makes it easy to configure audio for events that include both local and remote participants. It's really 4 components in one: a state-of-the-art wireless microphone system, a smart charging station, IntelliMix digital signal processing, and a fully equipped audio interface. Despite its comprehensive feature set, MXW Next 2 is easy to set up in minutes with just one push of a button. Automatic frequency management finds open channels and avoids interference without interrupting the audio. Multiple interfaces make it simple to connect to a computer, sound system, and recording equipment. Onboard IntelliMix DSP eliminates annoying distractions and delivers a pristine audio mix for both in-room and remote participants. Body pack, handheld, or boundary microphone transmitters run all day long and drop into charging bays so they're always ready to use. The MXW Next 2 all-in-one wireless system is the next step in audio for hybrid events.
All right, we are back. That product's going to be at ISE, and it'll make it just started shipping. Great product from Shure. And of course, Shure's launching other new things at the show. We'll talk to you about when we get there at ISE. But I want to talk about a brand new product line that just debuted yesterday from Dynascan. It is an outdoor digital signage kiosk product line. What's cool about this is it's interactive and it uses any of the technology. So all of the Dynascan displays can be made to work outdoor and interactive. So it's cool because for signage, and of course Europe is way ahead of us on this. They put way more signage stuff outside than we do. So this is good timing for them. I'm going to actually do a deep dive on this product at ISE. Cool. So you'll get more information on this next week after I shoot that video. Steph, there's a really cool case study that we posted yesterday about that fundraiser for the Cancer Hospital.
Yes, like to end, every broadcast talking about a case study. It's always cool to talk about a really specific instance of something. So this is for a cancer hospital fundraiser. This was done by Winslow Studio and advertising agency Cronin. They used 14 Epson PowerLight 815E Extreme short for projectors to make this happen. And they actually sent us a video showing how you can walk through. So
it's
check
a time
this out.
lapse video, so it's pretty cool.
Well, we are
All
at
right,
the end
we got some
of our
last
show.
things that we want to promote before the end of the show. First off, we are getting a lot of interest from manufacturers about launching brand new products during launch week 9, which is March 18th. It kind of feels weird to talk about that when we're going to be going to ISE next week, but
Yeah.
March 18th to the 21st is the industry's #1 online / virtual, whatever you want to call it, event, which is launch week. This is our 9th version. We got to do something big for number 10. You can register. We have 4 different days: UC Day, Ed Tech Day, we have Digital Science Day, we have Pro-AV Day. And you can decide to watch just one session or one day or whatever you want. So go ahead and register at launch.com, LAVNCH.com, or scan that QR code that's on the screen right now. And one last thing, because we're doing ISE, and most of you are not going to ISE. Most of the people that we have watching this are definitely not going to ISE. And we're going to shoot, as Steph said, somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 videos over the course of 4 days. And that's a lot to watch. So Steph and I are going to curate all of our coverage into Replay ISE, right, Steph?
Yeah. Think of this as like your Sports Center, like covering the highlights of each show for those of you who could not make it. So this is going to be 2 p.m. CET and then again at 2 p.m. EST. So you can join whichever session matches your time zone the best. And Gary and I are going to pick our favorite products, show you clips of those videos, and show you clips of the favorite things that we saw and think that are going to be big for our industry. So it's going to be a good time. Yeah.
And so we're going to do it live twice. 2:00 in Europe and 2:00 in the United States. This is an opportunity for you to get curated coverage. So if you'll spend an hour or so with us, we will make sure that you only know the things that we saw that were worth actually seeing at the show. We're going to show our product deep dives. We'll talk about the products that we think are going to have an impact on 2024, and it'll tie a lot into my crystal ball. And that's why I can't publish my crystal ball till after ISE, because a lot of that gets impacted by ISE. So we'll be there at the show. We'll be there next week. Again, we're going to come to you live. Quick one on Monday, but we'll be there live with a full show on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. What time are we broadcasting over here in the United States, Steph? Do you know what time it is here when we broadcast?
9:30 Eastern.
Okay, so 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll be broadcasting live 3:30 p.m. European time. We'll be coming to you live from the show floor, and we'll share each day something different that we notice on the show floor. We'll also have a lot of guests. We'll have other people's opinions on what we see on the show floor, and maybe we'll show you a few products depending on where we're standing at that moment in time. We don't have one place that we're going to be. We're going to kind of roam the show floor as much as we can, and so we might stop if we see something really cool. Maybe we should, do a broadcast there. Maybe Legrand might be a day. Maybe the Barco Bar might be a day. We'll figure that out as we go. We don't ever want to be tied to one place if at all possible. But I'm excited to be doing this with Steph. And Steph, I'm excited to see you in person when I get to Barcelona on Monday.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, the next time you guys will see us, we'll be coming at you live from Barcelona. So sounds good. I hope you guys enjoyed this pre-ISE episode of rAVe TV. We will see you guys next week.
Thank you, everyone.
It's the weekly show about ProAV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's rAVe TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.